Welcome to Conversations with Aaliyah. Tune in for inspiration, information, and upliftment as creatives and entrepreneurs share their journeys, challenges, and successes.
Today, our guest is Morgan Deere, and we're going to talk about how she got started in the industry, in the entertainment industry, how she became an actor, where she is, and kind of your quick journey of your life in like 20 to 30 minutes. So,
Okay. Yeah, I think we can do that.
Yeah. And also specifically that is special about you is that you have epilepsy as well. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Awesome. Well, I don't know if it's awesome, but awesome that awesome that I'm right, I guess.
No, it's totally, it's part of me, it's not my story, but yeah, I have epilepsy and it is what it is. And we go from there.
Yeah. I think it's great, not that you have epilepsy, but that you're an actor that has epilepsy. And I think that
Right.
will be really inspiring as well for
Yeah, like kind of like
for
an
people.
advocate towards,
Yes,
kind of thing.
exactly. Yes. I'm going to read your bio real quick to introduce everyone. So Morgan Deere, who is currently based in Los Angeles, California, is a news anchor who turned into an actor, as she likes to call it. Morgan is a passionate and dedicated newcomer to the acting world, known for her enthusiasm and commitment to the craft. She grew up in Ohio and is now based in Los Angeles and is actively pursuing acting through education and hands-on experience. Morgan's journey began in Humboldt County, where she worked as the local news broadcaster for Redwood News for 2 years before moving to Los Angeles to pursue a career in acting. She has gained knowledge and experience through workshops and notable acting studios and intensives, improvisation classes, and on-site experience. What makes Morgan unique is the fact that she is an actress living with epilepsy, although she has never let this, quote, disability stop her from achieving her dreams and growing as a respected actor. Morgan is inspired by the works of Natalie Portman and Anthony Hopkins and strives to create memorable characters that resonate with audiences. She is excited to continue her journey in the acting world and welcomes opportunities to connect with other creative, like-minded individuals and industry professionals. All right, cool. That was great.
Yeah.
We got connected because on my previous podcast, which was called The Actor's Resource with Aaliyah, I had interviewed this amazing woman, Ruth Haney, fantastic makeup artist, and she referred you to me as being a fantastic guest. And we were just talking about how you know her daughter and that you met through the news broadcasting. Can you just quickly just start with like how you got started as a news anchor and then how you transitioned from news into being an actor?
For sure. So as you were saying with Ruth Haney, she has a daughter, Brianna, and I worked with her in Redding, California at the news station KRCR, News Channel 7. She was a reporter then, and I started out as a PA, not knowing what I was doing at all. So I got really lucky with that. And I started out, I was like the audio tech and then the floor director. I did the graphics pop up on the screen for the news. So that's how I started. And eventually with that same station, worked my way to becoming a news producer. So I would create the entire half-hour news broadcast, each block, put it in and cue the reporters. So that is how I started.
First of all, what is a PA in case someone who's listening doesn't know what a PA is in this context?
Yeah, for sure. PA stands for production assistant. So that's
cool.
What that is. Yeah, and you've got that on like movie sets, PAs, production assistants. So this is just a different type of production assistant for a news station. So
yeah. And I want to acknowledge you. That's amazing that you started off as a PA and then became a producer, just kept moving up and then became a producer
just like
too.
Snowballed into it. I was freaking out at first. I'm like, oh my God, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can produce, I can't be a producer, but never say never. And that's what happened. So
And you did it.
I did it. I
You
did
did
it.
it.
I was scared to death, but I did it.
Yes.
So,
I think that that's so inspiring because sometimes I think it's great to hear that people sometimes get scared, but they still do it anyway. I think that that's really inspiring. So if anybody's listening is thinking, I'm scared and I can't do it, you're not alone, but push through it anyways, right? Because you felt that way, but you still did it,
oh,
and it was
exactly.
yeah,
Nerves, butterflies. There were so many times when I wanted to quit. I was like, I'm not good at this, but that negative self-talk is the devil, and it will ruin you, and you need to you have to stay positive, especially in today's day and age, and living in LA and news, you
yeah,
just
yeah,
go with it.
yeah.
So,
So thank you so much for backtracking a little. And so now you're a news producer.
mhm.
When did you transition into being an actor? What made you decide to do that? And then how does epilepsy play into it at all?
So I'll start with like the news anchor thing because, went from producer to news anchor, then acting. So that whole transition, I moved to Humboldt. I wanted to get my bachelor's in journalism and started working at the news station there. And I anchored for 2 years. So I just wanted to kind of get comfortable in front of the camera. That was kind of my main reasoning for like getting into it in the first place. So that happened. And then I don't know, I guess how I got started into acting. When I was younger, I was in school plays and I was always very shy. I still am. Definitely not the first person to speak up in a room, to make a conversation. But I don't know. When it came to performing and like being on stage, it was just different. And, no matter what the mean voices inside of my head were telling me, I knew that I had to audition and I just wanted to be like, kind of center stage. If that I don't want it to be like an ego thing, but I just kind of wanted to be seen, I guess.
Yeah.
So even though I didn't realize like what I was doing at the time, I think my heart knew what I wanted before I even ever knew
Yeah.
whole acting thing or what I even wanted to do, it just knew. So I believe that like every choice that I've made up into this point, every decision, doing this podcast, like everything has brought me to where I am right now, right in this very spot, right with you, you know, being a news anchor and moving from Ohio, a small town in Ohio, to Los Angeles, I'm taking
Wow.
acting classes in Hollywood. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
I'm doing auditions. I have an agent. Like, it's crazy. It's just
Yeah.
like things
Yeah.
that in never a million years I would just like I always, you always hope, but you don't know that it'll come into fruition. And I've been blessed, I'm beyond grateful, and here I am.
I think that's so fantastic. How long have you been in LA now?
It's been about almost no, it'll be 3 years in November. So
Okay.
not
Just
still
after the
not new, not very seasoned. Still figuring this whole LA life out.
yeah. So just like you just moved there like just shortly after the pandemic, I feel
Yeah,
like,
it was.
right?
It was like
Yeah.
right after the pandemic was ending.
Yeah. What I'm hearing from you is that you're taking action towards your dream. You know what I mean? Like, even though it's scary, you're just taking like inspired action and just
Yeah.
taking the next step, which is like leading you. And the fact that you have an agent already is like, fantastic, being that you're new to
I
acting.
mean,
So
that's
good.
what I've been told, where it's just like, yeah, you have an agent and everything. Like, you know, a lot of times I'll put myself down and doubt and whatnot. But yeah, these things, it's just like little by little it happens. I'm grateful that that happened for me.
Yeah.
Almost Talent Agency, that's who I'm with, and it's great. And I've been getting auditions. So yeah, it's definitely excited for that.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for people that might quote unquote have a disability in terms of following their dreams? Or the other kind of question, which is parallel to it, is like any advice on following your heart regardless, like even if there's fear, even if there's negative self-talk or self-doubt, how do you continue to move forward without letting that fear or self-doubt or negative self-talk stop you? Or
Yeah.
maybe you pause, but you still continue moving forward. How do you do that? Like,
Yeah. Well, there's so many challenges when it comes to trying to make your goals work in Hollywood. I mean, so many struggles. And I face them every day, but I think my biggest battle is the internal struggle within myself, the negative self-talk, that self-doubt, that mean voice in your head telling you that, you're not good enough and you can't do this,
right.
but you can't always believe what you think, you know.
Yes. Don't
Can't
believe what you think.
Don't always believe what you think. I actually have that as like a screensaver
Yeah.
on my phone. I'll open it because it's just like that's, it's true. It's true. You're your biggest supporter. And
Mm,
and I just think that if you lose faith in yourself, then
mm.
it becomes a downward spiral of self-doubt. And
Yeah.
if you're your biggest supporter, and if you don't believe in yourself, then I mean, I choose to believe in myself and see the bigger picture, and move forward with what I'm doing, and because no one else is going to do it for me. So, and as far as the epilepsy, I guess, goes, long story short, it hasn't affected my journey at all, like at all. I
Fantastic.
don't
Yeah.
see it. I mean, yes, I have epilepsy, but I don't see it as a disability per se into my decisions. Like, it's a part of me, it's a part of my story, but it's not who I am, um,
Right.
and it certainly doesn't define me,
Yes. It's like an
and with,
arm
with
or a
anybody,
leg.
you just exactly. It's not gonna. It doesn't define me, It is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Obviously, there's nuisances with it. I will have a seizure from time to time. The medicine I take, it makes me tired a lot.
Mm,
You know, stress.
mm.
Stress is a big factor.
That can trigger.
It can and will
Oof.
trigger
Yeah.
seizures for me. Everyone's different. Everyone goes through different ways of dealing, but that is one of the triggers. And taking medicine twice a day every day for the rest of my life, is just a real nuisance. But
Yeah.
it's all small road bumps in our journey.
Right.
uh, but when it comes to the bigger picture, it's
Right.
like, I don't think of that as when I'm out here, I don't let that boggle me down at
Yeah.
all. As for anyone else who is going through the same struggle, or mentally, emotionally, you can't let that stuff get you down. Otherwise, you won't grow as a person. You won't try new things. And
Yeah.
um, and yeah.
I love that so
No, I
much.
don't.
No, I love that so much because it's like you're deciding how to define yourself. You're not letting whatever it is, whatever anyone has,
Yeah.
mental, emotional, physical, anything that you're defining yourself, not letting whatever it is define you for you, and that you're always remembering the big picture and that you stay focused on it. That is so good.
Yeah, I try to. You try to, remember the big picture and why you're doing what you're doing and why you're chasing the dreams that you are, And everyone has those struggles. I certainly do. I struggle with it, but you have creative outlets. Like, I like to draw and I like to color and I create my own little characters, and I'm trying to write up a story, and like, I love mysteries, so I'm trying to write like a mystery story with
Nice.
characters that I draw and create. So
I
little
love
things like
that.
that to get you out of like the whole, like, stressful situations of, oh, when's my next audition, or like when there's downtime, where it's just like nothing's coming up for me, I'm not getting anything, I'm not, like, these are things that I can do to be at peace and continue to move forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like you have lots of outlets as well. So so you don't get caught up in a downward negative spiral because we all have the down times, right?
Yeah.
As an actor or as any creative person, there can be those downtimes. And instead of getting caught up in a negative spiral, which can easily happen and no judgment, but it doesn't serve any of us. And it
Yeah.
sounds like you have an outlet to be creative that still feels good and brings you joy until the auditions come in again or until your
Yeah.
next booking or whatever the next step is.
Oh, for sure. Hmm.
Yeah, that's totally cool. What are you are so you're writing like little mysteries and drawing. Are you getting ready to do any kind of publishing with that as
No, I mean,
for that?
I don't think so. For right now, it's just what I do as a stress reliever. I mean, like I said, you never say never. I've done all of these other things up to this point. Why not? Why not?
Yeah,
Why
I
not?
love that. Yeah.
These characters and I do pop-ups and I'll send them to like my family thing, like
Yeah.
those little cards where they have the pop-ups in it. Like
Yes.
I'll
Those
draw
little
my little like I have Afro Al and Trucker Tucker and you
What are
know
those? What are those?
my little characters that I draw up and that's their names and
Yeah.
you know Bowtie Barbara. Just a bunch of different ones. And then I send them and I'm like, you know what? This is pretty cool. Like, I'm gonna write up a story based on these characters and maybe something will come of it. We'll see.
You never know. Oh my gosh, what if it became a series that you acted in as one of the characters?
Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be awesome? I mean, why
Yeah,
not?
yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
It could happen. I mean,
I've loved I also have a mannequin. I don't tell like I'm just like, what? You have a mannequin? Her
like a
name's
full
Natalie.
size.
A full size. I
Okay.
originally bought her to sell clothes on Poshmark, because
Mhm.
why just like put out your clothes on a like the bed and take
Yeah.
pictures whenever you could actually have like a visual is what
Yeah.
I was thinking, like people are
Like
like, oh, that
3D.
outfit looks good. Like I see that.
Yeah.
Never sold any clothes, never really did anything thing like that. But I just ended up, I just love her. She's my Miss Maggie. And we were on Let's Make a Deal together, actually.
No
Last
way.
Yes, we were on Let's Make a Deal. We were the donut duo.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, yeah.
That's
I
so
create
cool.
shirts, I make shirts. So we had
Yeah.
that's what we were, and we played. We were on there with Wayne Brady, and so
Me.
some little things
Yeah.
like that to keep me busy and on the creative side.
And fun and
And
fun.
yeah, it's fun. I
Yeah.
really I enjoy it. Yeah. Yeah.
Just randomly, I was on Let's Make a Deal too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a little while ago. It was during the pandemic,
Oh,
but it was, oh my God, Wayne Brady, so amazing. They were all so awesome. It was so much fun. That's like the best game show because there's like literally just luck. There's
oh
like,
my Lord.
it's
Yeah.
like, please let me win. That's like
Oh my
all
gosh.
there is.
I literally had nightmares about that. Like I was so upset. I played.
Yes.
And people like that's from what I heard because I went on like Zonk Redemption after. Um,
Okay.
Whenever you play, but like you don't
Yes.
win or you get a Zonk or whatever, then
Yes.
they bring you back.
Yeah.
And so that happened. But the producers had been telling me like there's so many people that are like they go into like a depression state like whenever they play and they
Uh-huh.
don't win or something like it's upsetting and I felt that I was
Oh,
like I can't believe I'm feeling this right now but I was pretty upset. I mean like it is what
yeah.
it is but yeah, I spun for like a car
Yeah.
and I either got to pick like the four, like stop at 4 grand or play for the car. And
Yes.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go big or go home. Like I've thought of this before I even was on the show, but me personally, like once my mind is set, my mind is set. Once I'm gonna do something, like I said I was gonna do that, I'm going to do that. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now I'm regretting it a little bit because I'm like, man, I needed that money. But you know what? There's nothing you can do about it. And I had fun and it was a good time. So
So you got zonked, which sucks. But it's all chance, right? It's like literally like all chance.
it really is. It
It
really
really is.
is. So
Did you come back for a zonk replay yet or
I did. Yeah, I did. That was I'm not sure when that was, a few months
okay.
ago. I didn't play then. So I was just like kind of part of the audience.
Okay.
But But yeah, what an experience that was.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what I'm hearing from you as well is that you're really determined. And I don't think you made a wrong decision. It shows your character of persistence and determination. Like you know what
Exactly.
you're focused on and you followed through. I think that that's a Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich, he said persistence, I'm paraphrasing, persistence to a character is like carbon to steel. So it's like
Yeah.
really a big deal, I think, and
Yeah.
probably helps with why you're successful.
I think you hit the nail on the head really with that one. It's just like the persistence, I'm definitely persistent whenever it comes to this. And that dedication, I like to pride myself on that
Yeah,
for sure. And it's just like once I've decided I'm going to do something, then that's kind of what
it's
it is,
happening. It's
you know.
happening,
So
right?
like the acting, like this is I'm doing this. This is what it is. So
Yes.
take one day at a time and just enjoy life while you're at it. Enjoy the journey.
Yeah. I feel like you're so inspiring. Uh,
Yeah.
So when you moved to LA, we have a few more minutes. Yeah, we have a few more minutes. When you moved to LA, like, how did you know which classes to go to? And how did you get started with that for people who are possibly listening that are thinking about moving to LA or, yeah, moving to LA as an actor? Like, since you had no previous acting experience, you moved to LA. How did you know where to go from there? Like which classes to take and that kind of thing,
It
if you
didn't.
want to share.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I didn't know. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I moved here on faith. I had no job.
You're so
I had
brave.
I had no job. I
Yeah.
had no place to call home. I lived in an extended stay hotel for 4 months
Wow.
while I tried to figure out my next move. But I swear, like the good Lord helped me like along the way. I got a job as a brand ambassador where you promote companies right before I moved out to LA. I
Yeah.
was like, what am I going to do? I don't know you know, where to get my income from. I have savings, but that can go so quickly. So I was fortunate enough to get a job. I'm working the Super Bowl, and that was a 6-week gig. I was originally only supposed to be a wayfinder for the first day, but I got picked out of so it, like 300 some people to work this 6-week journey for the Super Bowl, and that's how I got my income. But basically, I didn't have anything. I through a friend. So my boyfriend had a friend who he's an actor, and he was with Allman Talent Agency, and he was
Is
like,
that
"Well,
your
you should."
agents right now?
Yeah, who is my
Okay.
agent now, Allman
Okay.
Talent Agency. So he was showing Aurelian, my agent, like my newsreel, my
Yes.
newsreel. So he was like, "Oh, it's great, it looks good." So he brought me on. But before he brought me on, actually, he was like, "Well, I need you to take some classes to like get involved, and he gave me some references for some really great acting classes and teachers. And so I went to Margie Haber, her studios.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I
Margie
started
Haber.
with her, and then
Yeah.
I did a commercial class as well, with Joy. I forget her last name.
I don't know
Anyways,
that one.
so
Yeah.
that's how that all started. And so I was like, Aurelian, I'm in this, I'm in these classes, and then he signed me on. The rest is history. So
Yay.
yeah, yeah,
It's so fantastic because your life experience as a news anchor, news reporter,
yeah.
because there's so many roles that ask for news reporters. You're like, I got that one
That is
down.
what I keep getting. Like I've got one like right after this for a
Yes.
news reporter, and I just did a promo trailer for an up and coming director, Garrett Paul. He's creating a feature film called Fresh Air, and I got picked to be the news reporter. So, yeah, I'm just like, this is pretty awesome. Like out of 30 people, he picked me to play the news reporter. So I had to memorize like 2 pages in 3 days and do this in front of like 20 people. I drove out to it's like an hour and 45 minutes away out to this like mountain area to do this. And it was like, this has been like my first gig, and it wasn't even like a one-liner, you know? It was
so good.
a 2-page thing that I was like, you know what, I'm doing this, you know? So
yeah.
I don't know how we got to that topic. But,
it's because we're talking about how your life skill as a news reporter just helps you so much to book, because there's so many roles for news reporters.
Yeah.
You know? And then
idea, but yes, you're right.
yes. Oh my God, that's so good. Cool. So that's something that we can look for coming out probably in a year.
Yeah, probably. It's going to be at some of the film festivals and whatnot. Starting out, and then he's pitching it to a lot of producers. But you know, it's just so hard to get your foot in the door with that he didn't just want the script. He wanted a trailer to go along with it, so that you could a visualization, right? And so that's how it started. So you know, all the support and love would be much appreciated for him in this film as he works to promote himself. You know, hopefully it helps me out too, you know.
Yes. And that's what I was going to say. The last question, and then also we would love to find out how to follow you and whatnot. What's coming up next for you that you're working on next that you'd love to accomplish, or if you want to share to manifest your next goal, if you believe in manifesting, if you want to share that, and then how to stay in touch with you, how to follow you, whatever.
You can follow me. I don't really have a TikTok, but Instagram, Miss_Morgan4. You can follow me on Instagram.
Instagram _ what? I'm sorry.
So it's Miss MISS and then _Morgan.
Okay.
And then the number 4. So that's that. And you know, as far as what I'm doing now, I'm just taking it one day at a time. You know, I'm doing these auditions and whatnot. Like I said, I have this one up right after this. It's from SWAT, that show SWAT.
Oh, yeah.
So fingers crossed.
Yes.
Good vibes, you know, and you know, manifesting things in your life. I definitely believe in that, for sure. And like I said, the trailer that's coming out with the up and coming director, producer Garrett Paul. His story, Fresh Air. Hopefully that, you know, something happens with that. And yeah, but you know, in the famous words of comedian Dusty Slay, it's we're having a good time. So yeah, we're just living life and, you know, figuring out one day at a time.
I love it. All right. Thank you so much, Morgan. It was fantastic having you here on my podcast.
Oh, no, I love it. I'm so excited. This is awesome. So thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it, and you and having me on. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to Conversations with Aaliyah Lay. I'd love to hear from you. Follow me on Instagram at Aaliyah Lay, ALYALEI.